So a lot of people go from investment banking to private equity, right? Very few people go from private equity back to investment banking, and which is what I'm doing. But it is something that I'm passionate about and I want to do it. But what is the big difference between investment banking and private equity? A lot of parts of these two worlds are very similar. A lot of folks that you'll meet in the private equity world have prior investment banking experience because you've learned the core skills: Excel, how to work on tight deadlines, how to analyze companies. But the big difference on these two jobs is this: investment banking is very execution heavy. When you're working in an investment banking environment, you're very client-facing, client-focused work, where you could be working on 30 accounts as an analyst or an associate, and work will come, you will crank it out, you will edit the documents, you'll create the models, and work will go away, submit it to the client for whatever purposes, IPO, M&A, whatnot. And the next client will come. And it's just this factory in a way. Now, because you're doing all these repetitions and you're getting extra reps of this, you build the skills for getting great at financial analysis, doing models, PowerPoints, whatnot. Private equity world, you use the same skills you've learned in the investment banking world. But in the private equity side, you obviously are not a client-facing business. It's not like I have clients. Yeah, you have LPs and stuff like that. But on the private equity side, as a junior person, as an associate or a manager or a principal even, you're looking at a few companies, maybe a sector, and you're digging deep into that business model. So there's a lot of thinking and a lot of judgment that goes on the investing side, because you're not servicing any client. You actually have to have an opinion on an industry, a sector, a company, or a section of a company, and you got to build a thesis around it. That requires not only modeling and cranking and grunt work. It requires thinking and digging deep and being thoughtful about things. So the biggest difference I realize in the two, some would call it sell side and buy side, is how deep do you think about businesses? So one example I'll give you is in investment banking, you would start from the revenue line of a financial statement, and that's where the business would start. Okay, this company has this much revenue and it's growing this much. On the private equity side or the buy side, you start way deeper than that. You start from, how do I even acquire one customer? Or even before that, how much money do I have to spend to effectively acquire one customer? From that, how much can one customer pay me, the company? From that, how much can I grow this price point to the next level? And so on and so forth. After many, many, many layers of this analysis, then you get to the annual revenue, which is where investment banking kind of picks up. So I think that part of it is different. And I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I think both are important. But people should figure out what they enjoy more and what excites them more, and how what kind of people they are, and pick one or the other.